Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been a few months since I've been here. My hair's looking a little bit longer. I haven't been up to too much because of Corona, but I've definitely got some interesting things to share with you guys in this video because of everything that's been happening. And I've also got a little bit of a surprise later on in the video, something that I've been wanting to do for a while but haven't got around to. So stick around for that. And yeah, let's get into it. So what's happened in the last 2 months? Basically since late March I've been on lockdown at home in Germany. So very little social interaction, pretty much staying in my house and yeah, staying safe, staying healthy, not talking, not meeting with people, that kind of stuff, which is that was encouraged by both Rotary and my host family, so I've stuck to that because you want to keep everyone happy and keep everyone safe and healthy, so that's the most important thing right now. So yeah, I haven't done much, I've been working on my Deutsch a lot, so my German is definitely getting better. I'm able to have a lot more conversation with people. The grammar is still really difficult, but in terms of my actual conversational skills, it's a lot easier to communicate with people, which is really good. So that's, I guess, one of the positives that's come out of it. So in the first couple of weeks of the lockdown, it was quite surreal, it didn't really feel real. I actually had a couple of friends who were really nice to come visit me, and they brought me this box of chocolate and book and stuff to read and keep me busy because they were allowed out a bit more than I was, and it was super cute, so I put a photo of the box up there. So that was really nice of them, and yeah, it just didn't quite feel real because, I was like, oh, this will be gone in a couple of weeks and we'll be back to normal, I think Corona was vastly underestimated for a very long time in Europe. Everyone kind of just thought it was a joke, or it wasn't going to happen, or it wasn't real, so no one really took it too seriously. And then as the 2 weeks stretched into 4 weeks and then 6 weeks, it kind of set in more that we were going to be like this for a while, and I guess it just kind of become a routine, you get up, you eat, you watch TV, you learn some German, you go to sleep. It was quite, every day was the same. It's quite easy to even just forget what day was what. So I was like, oh, it's Sunday, okay, cool, doesn't make any difference. It's also difficult as an exchange student. I think for me, one of the things I struggled with was, my host family were very busy still, because my host parents, even though they were home, they had work from home, and my host siblings who were home, but they had school to do, online school. And so for me, it was pretty much, I didn't have either of those things. So I was basically just stuck with nothing to do, other than all I could do was basically learn German and watch TV and read and that kind of things to keep myself busy. So it was very easy to let your mental health kind of deteriorate during this time, and I think it was really important for me to have the support I had from my exchange friends and my host family and my real family to get me through that and keep me in Germany. So a question I've been asked a lot by a lot of people in Australia and also just in general is, why am I staying? Why didn't I go home? And I think the reason I didn't go home was at the start when it was March, no one knew how long it was going to last. So I was like, this could be over in 2 weeks, and if I decide to go home now, then I'm going to regret it. And then, after a month, it was still going and it looked like it wasn't going to stop. But then I'm kind of like, I've been here, I've already put up with a month of quarantine, and who knows, this could be over in another few weeks. No one knew what was going to happen. There was a lot of uncertainty in Germany, and uncertainty among Rotary as well, so it was really hard to know anything that was going to happen. So I couldn't quite bring myself to throw in the towel and come home without knowing what was going to happen, If they were to extend the lockdown indefinitely, like just say, alright, that's it, everything's closed till July, then yeah, I probably would have gone home. But because they were kept just extending it in 2 week by 2 week blocks, I was like, well, you never know, I may as well wait for the next one and see what they say. So yeah, that was kind of my main reasoning for not going home. And then now it's obviously getting better, everything in Germany is pretty much open again, except for clubs, cinemas, restaurants, hotels, cafes, parks, everything's open again, and as of a couple of weeks ago you can actually meet with 10 people outside now, which is a lot better. I'm not meeting with 10 people, I'm not allowed to, and it's probably not super safe to, but at least being able to see a couple of friends, having that opportunity is a lot better. So as of a few weeks ago I met friends for the first time, and then I've met friends one time since then, and also, gone to a few things with my family, like they had a family friend's birthday, which was cool. And so yeah, I've been able to do a little bit more, in the last few weeks. So that's been really good, and it's definitely shown that I think I made the right decision staying here. Of course, there was definitely troubles, every week or two I would have a point where there'd just be one night where I was feeling really low and I just couldn't quite cope so well with the mental strain of being stuck at home full time. Personally, I'm quite an extroverted person, so I get a lot of my energy and happiness and enjoyment from being around people, so being isolated for so long was quite hard for me mentally, and it's definitely hard to deal with because I've never had to deal with something like that before. I've always had the opportunity to go out and see people and do things, so it was something completely different, and everyone here, all the exchange students, were in the same boat. There was nothing we could do and nothing we could have done to expect or think this was going to happen. And I think that was why exchange students became so tight during this time and had such an important relationship with each other, because we were the only ones who understood what was happening. None of the Rotarians, none of the host families, none of the real families, none of the local friends, no one really understands what it's like going through this as an exchange student, except other exchange students. So those relationships with your exchange friends become really important during that time, to have someone to reach out to and who just understood, who could empathize with the situation properly. Families at home and here and stuff can try and understand and try and be supportive and are super appreciated, of course. Everything they do for us is amazing, but it's just not quite the same level as understanding as what you get from your exchange friends who are living the same things you are at the time. I had definitely amazing support from my family. They sent letters and postcards to me, and they didn't arrive until today. I got 4 postcards today, and they were all sent around March because the post just hasn't been coming from Australia, but that was super nice of them. And so it was definitely, there was lots of support. There was support everywhere, which was really important and made it so much easier in my decision to stay here and continue with exchange. Rotary Australia throughout this whole thing have been incredibly supportive with me and all of my exchange friends, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to them, because I know that me and several of my other exchange friends from Australia would not have got through this time without them and their support. So that was really, really great to have. And in terms of the future, I'm just really excited to see what happens in the rest of exchange. It's got a lot better. Everything's open again. I can only see things getting more and more positive from here. There haven't been spikes in cases since things have opened, and so it looks like, fingers crossed, touch wood, that we could have a really good exchange. There's definitely some tour opportunities coming up. There's opportunities to see friends and maybe do a little bit of traveling in the summer. My summer holidays start in 2 weeks, so that's exciting. And yeah, I'll also be in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I should be changing families as well, which is something that's going to be interesting because I haven't been through that yet. A lot of my exchange friends who have 3 to 4 host families have already changed once, so they know what it's like. I only have 2 families, so I haven't experienced what it's like yet. And I'm nervous, but I'm also super excited to see what it's going to be like in a new family, and I think a fresh start is going to be really nice as well. So yeah, that's something that is exciting that's coming up, and along with the opportunities that will hopefully come my way. In terms of the impact Corona already had, there were a few things that were cancelled. The first thing that was really upsetting was Eurotour, which was our tour all around Europe in many different cities. They had to cancel that, unfortunately. That was a really big, that was probably the biggest impact coronavirus has had on our exchange, to be honest. It was really disappointing to not be able to go on that tour, because that was one of the main things I was super excited about going on exchange in Europe for. And there were a few weekends that were cancelled with exchange students. There was a weekend at the start of Corona and then one in June as well that were also cancelled. My school trip, I was supposed to be going on a school trip in September to England, and that will be cancelled. However, I found out the other day that potentially they might organise a trip in Germany, which would be awesome, because any trip's good. I'm not going to complain. I've still got hope that the Deutschland tour in October will go ahead with Rotary. I don't know, no one knows, they haven't told us anything, but I'm fingers crossed that could be possible, because there's no international travel, and hopefully the coronavirus will stay good. And so yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of positives to take away from this, and it's certainly been a unique experience with this exchange. Like, no exchange students ever gone through this before, and this is only the exchange students who are on exchange now have been going through this, and we are the only ones who will probably ever go through something like this. There may be another pandemic, who knows, but I think it's fairly safe to say this has been a very unique exchange. And so because of that, I didn't want me to be the only people you guys could hear from. I really wanted to show what it's like for all exchange students in this video and not just a personal experience. I'd like to kind of give a wider variety. So I sent a message out the other day to a couple of friends who are either on exchange in my district or also the Australians who left from my district at home and are now scattered throughout the world, and said, would you guys like to be in a video? And asked them to record a short video that I could just chuck in here. So I was really glad that a few of them said yes, and I hope you find it really good to hear from a few other exchange students other than just me, because we all have slightly different experiences in different countries. The corona is different, it's better in some, worse in others. There's different experiences for everyone, so I think that this could be really cool. I hope it's good for you guys, and so yeah, here we go.
Hey, my name's Amber. I'm currently in Germany on my exchange, 5 months here, and I'm from Australia. My biggest problem caused by corona is the fact that I've moved around a lot in the past 5 months, had 4 different host families, and there was a lot of pressure to go back home.
Hi guys, I am Felipe Trioni, and I'm from Argentina. I am doing my exchange year here in Germany, and I was here during corona time, corona pandemic, whatever. And it was not easy at all. It has being an exchange student is hard, plus quarantine, plus not being able to see your friends. It was hard. It was harder than a normal exchange year. But we also had different things. Like we had the opportunity to learn better the language because we have so much free time, and I personally got a German course every day, so yeah, and I had 3 hours of German every morning, so I could learn it better. And now I feel that my German has improved a lot. Like I can speak it quite fluently, and well, but also I could not make so much German friends. Like now that I'm back in the school, I've seen that it's so hard. Like I've lost many opportunities of socializing, and I think that was one of the worst things. Like it was not boring quarantine, but like I felt that sometimes it was hard like just to be with my host fam, and like I felt like I was feeling alone, like somehow. But I am really proud of how was my exchange year here. Like I have many happy moments with my host fam that I think that they were not going to happen if corona was not there. I feel that I have different skills, that I've gained different skills that I was not going to, thanks to corona.
Hi, I'm Kalida, I'm from New Zealand, so I'm also in Germany on exchange. Not what I expected. Not, they tell you not to have expectations when you go on your exchange year, but I feel like this is beyond the limits of what not to expect. But I am grateful for my experience. I'm grateful, first of all, that I am still here. So many exchange students were sent home, and then it does obviously feel like we're coming out of this a little bit, and I wouldn't go so far as to say like I wouldn't take back any of it. There are a lot of things that we have not been able to do as exchange students, but at the same time I am grateful for, I've been really close to my host family. I am more grateful for the time that for the experiences that I am allowed to have. I feel like I take this exchange a lot less for granted than I would without corona. And there are some, I'm surrounded by really good people, and that's, all that, that's what I'm grateful for. And
I'm Lauren, I'm from Perth, Australia, and I'm doing, there's a really big bug in my room. I'm doing an exchange in South France, Montpellier. The lockdown for me was definitely not what I thought was going to happen on my exchange, but I'm very lucky I'm in the country, so I had lots of space to run around and find things to do, so it wasn't too bad. I did a lot of cooking, made a lot of crepes, so I can't really complain, but I am definitely very excited to be out of lockdown now and be able to see my friends. So yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much to all my amazing exchange friends who came through with those videos. I hope they were good for you guys as well. And if you want to follow them, those who want their Instagram to be put in the description have, along with my Instagram, of course, if you have any questions. So that's all there. And in terms of this video, I think that's about it. But kind of common thread is I think we're all just really excited for the rest of the year. And I think for those going in the next couple of years, you should definitely still apply for exchange. There's 100% amazing experiences to be had. I don't think Corona is going to ruin exchange forever. You know, this is probably a 1 year thing, and I really can't recommend the program highly enough. And yeah, I'm just really excited for the rest of exchange and to share with you guys how it goes. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.